if you guys remember in 2024, a little over a month after WrestleMania, former 10-time WWE champion, the final boss, The Rock, announced that that this past year's WrestleMania would take place in New Orleans. However, that ultimately changed because WWE announced that Money in the Bank this year would take place in that exact same city, New Orleans, Louisiana. However, we all expected Money in the Bank to take place at some point next month. Well, that ultimately changed as WWE announced that it would be pushed back by an additional month to August. Then they pushed it back by another month to Sunday, September 6th. Now they have moved it back once again to October 10th, literally close to the end of the year. This might just be arguably one of the dumbest ideas in the eyes of some people that WWE has ever done. Reason being, it is because on Sunday, September 6th, WWE will be hosting a special edition of Saturday Night's Main Event known as Sunday Night's Main Event, which should be interesting because for all we know, the card could end up being utter complete shit, which is pretty safe to assume, as I need to readjust my... There we go. Wait, hang on. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I had to readjust my tripod to keep it low. Like, you guys already know what I'm talking about. I had to move my tripod down a little bit. Anyway, yeah, Sunday, September 6th, we've got Sunday Night's Main Event. October 10th, we've got Money in the Bank. And this poses a question that many members of the WWE universe have been asking over the last week ever since this was announced. The question becomes, what would become of next year's Money in the Bank in 2027? Would this become a yearly thing where it lands in October, or would this just be a one night only deal? Well, apparently, according to multiple sources, the reason that Money in the Bank this year is taking place in October has a lot to do with the fact that it has a lot to do with the PLE lineup, because right now the PLE lineup for WWE right now in 2026, according to Athlon Sports, shout outs to them, according to them, the next PLE obviously will be in a few weeks with Night of Champions. Then, of course, we've got Saturday Night's Main Event, which will take place in the middle of July. Then, of course, we've got SummerSlam, which will take place at the beginning of August. Then another Saturday Night's Main Event, which again, Sunday, September 6th. Money in the Bank will be in October. And then of course we've got Survivor Series, which normally will take place at the end of November, because it's a Thanksgiving tradition. But according to the eyes of some, it has a lot to do with a potential PLE for NXT. Like right now, NXT's next premium live event will take place on the same weekend as Night of Champions, obviously with the Great American Bash. So yes, I will be. So yes, the NXT PLEs will continue here on the channel. The predictions and the results will continue here on the channel for the NXT PLE. So be sure to get ready for that. And it's interesting because this is the first time where an NXT PLE is not taking place on a streaming platform. It's going to be on on cable TV for the first time ever. Now, obviously TNA, no stranger to that because they've done that multiple times in its legacy. This is the first for WWE and for NXT. So my honest assumption is that we could potentially have, I believe the next PLE for NXT, I believe is going to be, it should be either Battleground or No Mercy. I'm assuming it's going to be No Mercy because typically No Mercy takes place around mid September. Excuse me, which wouldn't really surprise me, to be quite honest. But yeah, so that's one reason why Money in the Bank had been pushed back to October is because not only is there a potential PLE for NXT in July next month, but it also has a lot to do with No Mercy as well. So there's definitely going to be a lot of people on social media just ranting about the fact that it's no longer a summer tradition. But that again, it ties into the question: will this be a one-night deal for Money in the Bank? And the answer, it's in a matter of speaking, it's kind of unclear because we really don't know what the lineup is going to be for 2027. All we know is that the only thing that we do know is that we've got the Royal Rumble, which rumors have it that it's going to take place in the middle of January, which is possible because that has happened in years past. Obviously, WrestleMania will be taking place in Riyadh, which is kind of crazy because I believe this is only the third time that WrestleMania will be taking place outside of the United States. I think the last time was WrestleMania 18, which took place in Toronto, which that night alone was what made the Ruthless Aggression what it was for for its time. What else? SummerSlam, I believe it's supposed to be taking place close to the middle of August, and then of course Survivor Series next year in 2027, which there's been some rumors that it could take place in Chicago, which that could be interesting. Survivor Series inside the United Center, that could be interesting. But we'll have to wait and see. But as far as Money in the Bank goes, I mean, there's really no telling like there's really no telling what the real reason is because this is just mere speculation. However, what I can tell you is that 2026, we're already halfway. We're already halfway into 2026, and things have gotten a bit interesting to say the very least. I mean, think of what's happened in WWE so far, right? Right? The saga between Brock Lesnar and Obafemi is still going on. They're both tied at one victory apiece. Roman Reigns is now the world heavyweight champion. We've had several NXT call-ups, including Sol Ruka, Ricky Saints, Blake Monroe, which rumor has it Blake Monroe is supposed to be debuting on SmackDown later in the summer, potentially right after SummerSlam. There's been a lot of rumors around that, and also we've got Chad Gable back on Raw now as a babyface, which he has seemingly decided to break away from his faction, American Made, which, let's be real, that was a complete fumble. It was a complete fumble, and we know that because Ivy Nile has been mainly working the main event. And while it is true that yes, we have seen the Creed brothers in AAA when Chad Gable was the original El Grande Americano, but other than that, the Creed brothers have been doing jack shit. They have not been doing jack shit at all. So I can honestly say that WWE in 2026 has been on fire. But Money in the Bank, man. I mean, in October, close to the end of the year. Crazy idea, but it's happening. However, there is a possibility that they could push it back one more time, this time to the end of the year, which honestly might not be such a bad idea, because that means that whoever wins both the men's and the women's Money in the Bank briefcases will have an entire calendar year to cash in. They will have literally the entire year of 2027 to cash in Money in the Bank, which is a possibility. But obviously, WWE will always be WWE. Date subject to change. So we'll just have to wait and see. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more WWE topic videos in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.